Do you remember that feeling that a good story would give you? Think back to primary school, hearing stories of wonder and adventure, of magic trees and hungry caterpillars and ugly ducklings and courageous cane toads. As silly as some of these stories might be, they would really take you through the whole gambit of emotions. You know, it would begin with a hopeful and optimistic beginning. And then there would be those chapters of trial and adversity. And then at some point, for better or worse, it would all come to a head. And then, do you remember that question that either your teacher or your parents would ask you? What's the moral of the story? You see, from a young age, we know that stories aren't just stories. Reading stories of difficulty and suffering helps us understand our own sense of grief. Hearing stories of triumph against all odds gives us a sense that maybe things will turn out okay for us. Hearing stories of ambitious artists and entrepreneurs, it expands our thinking as to what might just be possible. Watching lengthy, multi-season epics reminds us that life is more a marathon than a sprint, that sometimes healing or finding purpose can take time. Borrowing these stories from others can be really helpful, but feeling part of a story yourself is even better. Today we move around much more, we live further away from loved ones, and our weeks are far less structured, far more busy. And religion tends to provide more problems than it does answers. And the result is that we can lose sense of an overarching story that we are a part of. Am I the protagonist or more one of the fringe characters? Is my struggle worthwhile like Bilbo Baggins, or am I more like Sisyphus rolling the boulder up that eternal hill? Not knowing where I am or what's coming up next can cause me to throw up my hands and wonder, have I lost the plot? And maybe that's true. What we really need is a really good story, one that I can be a part of, a story which gives meaning to the season that I'm in right now. Everhope Church is hosting a series of talks called Picking Up the Plot. For centuries, people have found in the Bible a truthful telling of the human condition that really resonates. So in this series, we're going to be looking at the narratives found in the Bible to help explain and give meaning to whatever chapter of life we find ourselves in. Whether you're beginning something new, or maybe at the moment it feels like you're wandering between things looking for what's next, or maybe at the moment it just seems like each day is just a really big grind. Whatever it is, this series is for you, to encourage you as we find meaning in life's ups and downs. So if you live in the local area, why don't you join us Sundays at 4 p.m. at Lakelands Community House. Everhope's Sunday gatherings are designed for those who don't really have a church background, for regular people looking for more hope in everyday life. We would love to meet you then.